Good morning, it's time for work.
Hi, this is Ada,
And this is Stefan.
and welcome to Living Simply in Mexico.
All right, so today we're going to talk about working remotely in Mexico.
But before we go into that, we're going to just do a little small sidetrack of some of the fun things that you need to consider when living in Mexico, particularly when you're living rustically like we are and you don't necessarily have hermetically sealed, condos. And that is, we have termites.
Termitas. This is our friendly gecko. We call him Gordon. He's a happy guy. Get him. Eat him.
We are sitting here on a roof right now while we wait for everything to brew downstairs.
Air out, you mean?
Yes. Our pest control guy just came, and so anyways, little side note.
So let's talk about today.
Working from Mexico, and we're not talking like necessarily working here in Mexico, like, taking away jobs from locals.
Yeah, as you know, we're not, always in Mexico. We travel back and forth. We've got a daughter, and we work in the States, but we do come down here very frequently. And as part of that, you definitely got to figure out a way to work. We work remotely, but we also basically work from everywhere, and that's really why we're able to be in Mexico quite often.
Sorry for the banging that's in the background. Once again, construction. One of the
Yes.
the noise issues it's always kind of an unknown. We both have our own businesses, so we have built-in flexibility in the sense that we have planned ahead for being able to work from anywhere and still keep things going and still be productive. Because let me tell you, it is tough when it is sunny outside and gorgeous outside, and we've got work that we have to do, and we are doing it.
Yes, absolutely.
But that being said, it's nice because then when you can turn off the computer and just be, you truly are present. I find that I'm much less likely to sit there with my phone scrolling through emails when I'm here. I'm like, I want to be present.
When you're living in a mixed community or a Mexican community, that's one thing that's really important to know, is there's a higher tolerance for noise than what we're used to in the United States. So it can be from people selling things on the street, the gas truck coming by, people selling food. It could be banda music, could be working, grinding, pounding.
It could be the propane guy. And for a list of sounds that are our least favorite sounds in Mexico, I think we have a video on that.
So we'll put that up here.
Refer to that.
If you're working on conference calls, which we both do, you have to be very, very careful as to where you go. Most of the walls here are concrete, so things are echoey. And so to handle that, you basically simply put up fabric or paintings or whatnot. Anything to deaden the noise really, really helps.
Yeah, some of those like serapes that you get at the little Mexican store. I mean, it's a good excuse to go support some local art.
Yeah, exactly.
and just put and it's decorative and it'll be really functional.
But actually, what's really cool, and this is a really good tip, is Zoom, especially the web conferencing Zoom. They've got filters now where you can actually filter out the noise. And so any sort of like immediate like banging, grinding, barking, that can actually be filtered out as part of your settings. So that is a really, really cool thing that we found, is that enables you to have that noise reduction. Additionally, from a visual standpoint, having that background now that both Microsoft as well as Zoom does, that's really changed dramatically how people can travel and work in different environments and have control of their background without actually having to change their background.
The difference between like what Stefan, your conference calls need to be on a much more professional level. Mine, I embrace the Mexican experience in my videos. So when I'm teaching a class to my students on my online membership, I am just like, hey, this is Mexico. We might get some random noise, and it kind of adds to the charm. Heels come up, straighten the knees. And sometimes it's like I said, it's down at the beach, and it's like I was filming my video and there was a man sleeping about 40 feet away, and I'm like, I don't know, he might wake up in the middle of this class, we don't know. Let's see what finds out. So it adds a little bit of mystery, at least in terms of what I'm doing, but what I'm doing is very, very different than your type of work.
Yeah. You're going to put a link to one of your, or to access for the free video, right?
You know what? Actually, what was kind of cool is up here on this deck, sunsets are fantastic. So I did a sunset balance class. I'll put part of it up on YouTube, and then I'll put the full link in the free section of my membership. So if you want to get the full, it's just a very basic balance class, but you know what? It's really handy to have that good balance when you're walking around on cobblestone streets.
I often see on the Facebook groups of people, it's like, hey, do you have good internet in Puerto Vallarta? And what's really interesting, where we live, we don't have fiber yet. Some places further down the hill do. We just have regular internet that's the higher end version of it, but it's not that all expensive. But what we found is that allows us to have video conference for both of us going on at the same time. We always hope it works, and it has. And you know, our internet really hasn't gone out for the entire year. Even during the pandemic when we were gone, it didn't go out. And so that's been pretty reliable. What you'll find is if you look out at the wires that are around, it's amazing how they can wire that up here, but it does work. Maybe in your, I don't know, maybe in a different part of the town it's a little more spotty, but for us it's pretty stable.
And I think internet service providers, it may vary just based on where you live, kind of like any place else.
Yeah. What do you have any information on that?
We use, I think it's Telmex or Telemex or something like that. I'll put the link down below. That has worked perfectly fine for us.
I've traveled, all around China, India, Europe, South America, and it's a common problem. Even, I spent working almost 6 months in Germany. Same problem there. And really what it is, quite frankly, is in the United States, we make our houses lighter. They're out of wood with drywall, and it's easy for wireless to get through. So it's not like these other places have bad internet. It's the fact that we have wimpy walls. Yeah, we have wimpy walls, whereas in Mexico they're concrete, brick, steel, that sort of stuff. And so what I realized is, not focusing on the internet, but actually focusing on your wireless inside. And there's a lot of high-priced systems out there that you can do this. The Orbi's one of them. I think Google has one out, and a number of others. What we decided to do is just try a cheap one out by Tenda. I've never seen them in shops, but you can get them on Amazon. We'll put a link down below. And what it is, it's a mesh. It's a mesh wireless router. All right, here's a Tenda NW6. I don't know why it says Nova, some branding thing, who knows. But this little bad boy, get 3 of these, and we have one on every floor. And that baby's supposed to work for a 6,000 square foot house, and ours is probably about a quarter of that, so it just rocks really, really well. It was a little over $100. Because of the mesh network, the way it works, it's seamless, so you can be downstairs on the ground, all the way up to the top on a roof where we're at now, and have nice, perfect wireless. And so that has worked out extremely well. And they're little white boxes, so it doesn't look like some fancy, expensive electrical piece of equipment, but it's very subtle.
One of the challenges is the climate, is the heat, is when the sun is coming in. So the temperature can change very drastically. And so for me to be able to change which room I'm in, to be able to go downstairs during the heat of the day, to just go in a completely different area and not worry about the internet is huge. I do want to mention one thing on internet is data and data plans. We actually have we just have AT&T, and we have a North America plan, so we can be in Canada here, or United States, or here, and it doesn't matter. It's all sort of looked at the same. And it is really good in certain areas, like at least in the morning, down near the romantic zone and kind of down near Cochas Chinas, I can live stream a class from the beach. I can be down there and it's fine. I can use Zoom. The evenings near the Malecon, not so much. But that being said, I think the Malecon's a little sketchier there. But so that's just something else to consider if you have a good data plan that actually does have some flexibility. That has been really a lifesaver for us.
Yeah, when we first were down here, we actually did video conferences off of our data plan, and it actually worked okay. Bringing in equipment to bring in your laptop, if you're the unlucky one that presses the red button on your on your
Customs.
customs, yeah, thanks. Going through customs, when you go through, you can bring a laptop for work. They totally get that. The second one, you can get hit for customs. We've never brought down no more than one laptop per person, but if you do have something like that, just be wary of that. And then also too, if you're bringing down some electronics and stuff, like when I brought down this wireless mesh system, I made sure to take it out of the box and just put it in with my bag, because anytime you're bringing down new things in boxes really drives suspicion. So in fact, I think that system, if I am traveling to other countries as we get out of the pandemic, I'm actually going to buy a second mesh network system and just take with me to places to really help out. So that's one thing that I really learned the last few weeks.
If you do leave the electronics down here,
Yeah.
you may want to just consider the humidity. We've had some cords and things that have, well, it was primarily during that period during the pandemic that we couldn't come down here, and it was a really long stretch. But that's something to consider. We have an old monitor that we have down here.
A square monitor.
It's an old school,
not a rectangular one.
Yeah, it's like a really old school monitor. And it got a little, the cord's got a little sketch on it, but you wiggle it a bit and it's working now.
Yeah, WD-40 is a wonderful thing. It is super humid down here, and so I wouldn't want to leave my most coveted electronics here locally. And so anything that's used that we've used up in the United States that we want to bring down to help us out, whether that be Bluetooth keyboards or whatever, we'll bring down, but we don't want it to really spend the money on something that's really fancy.
Time to eat. And this
Yes.
is what's cool about, like, when you do lunch here,
Yes.
is that it is roll down the hill to some fantastic
Oh,
food,
love
wherever
it.
it might be, super fast, on the beach, whatever you kind of need. So if you have that hour and a half for lunch, that instantly just kind of gets you in the mood to kind of take on the rest of your workday. So you can click back in. It sometimes is not as hard as you might think.
Oh yes, one other thing. We promised you guys to do a video on our kind of the try of the romantic areas. The second was romantic restaurants, and then we were going to go into art and do an art one. We actually went to the art walk. There's a great art walk here, and we'll talk about it in our next video. But we got to the first place, and a wonderful welcoming place, and they gave us some tequila.
And we never left.
And we never left. So we will.
It was an art walk of one gallery.
Exactly.
So that will be to be continued, but that's how fun it can be. All right. So I think with that, we will see you guys next time. Remember to like and subscribe.
And we'll see you in the next episode here soon.